So today we're going to take a look at the dumbbell hip thrust. And this is a really great place to start, especially if you're a beginner or returning to training or would like to build your glutes. We're going to just use a bench. This one is 18 inches. I prefer something a little bit lower, maybe like 14 to 16 inches. And I usually start my clients somewhere around 10, 15 pounds, 20 pounds, just to assess tolerance and obviously how sore you are the next day. And of course we work good technique and form before adding load. And this exercise is usually done somewhere between 10, 15, 20 reps. Could be as high as 30 reps, just depending on your current level of fitness and your ability, of course. And so the first thing you should be familiar with is the hip thrust in and of itself. And I have other videos here on that, but we're gonna drop our hips down, up, drive through our feet, midfoot, and drive our hips up towards the ceiling while looking down our body. I always get a question about the shoulder blades. So it's basically like here where my bra line is, or my scapula are on the bench to support. A lot of times people will be like this, like just a piece of the shoulder blades on the bench, but you can actually have more of your shoulder blades on. I think of it like hooking your shoulder blades, pressing down on the bench while dropping your hips and up and squeeze. So after you complete the body weight version and you need to add a little load, one variation is with the dumbbell. This dumbbell here unfortunately hits me right in the hip bone, so I either put it a little bit higher on my stomach, forcing me to brace my stomach a little bit harder, or sometimes I see people with them with the dumbbell a little bit lower on their quads and just kind of pushing away so that the weight doesn't roll back on you. And so we can drop our hips down, up, and squeeze and hold at the top. And one little trick with this is if you squeeze on the way down for a count of 3 and squeeze on the way up for a count of 3, you really get that burn in the glutes. There is no issue with you going a little bit quicker, just as long as you're using good form and technique and squeeze. So 3 seconds down, hold, make sure you squeeze, up, squeeze, hold at the top of the movement. I'm gonna add a little bit of a variation to this one, and we're gonna do a dumbbell hip thrust with a banded abduction, so that way we hit the entire glute in the with one movement. So these are just little cloth bands. You can either put them at the bottom of the knees or above. Sometimes it creates like a little bit of a shearing force if it's below the knee and if you have any knee issues, so above might be a better option. And these are just cloth bands. I find they just don't dig in as much or roll as the rubber bands, but if all you have is rubber bands, we'll use that. So we go ahead and get in it, and I tend to shimmy down from the bench rather than hooking my shoulder blades and coming up, but both options are perfectly acceptable. So down, I got my shoulder blades on, my feet about shoulder width apart, my knees are out, my shin is relatively vertical. And if you have your feet a little bit further away, you're gonna feel it a little bit more in hamstring. If your feet are past that vertical point a little bit more back, you might feel it a little bit more in your quads. So we're gonna go down, 3, up, squeeze, hold, and then abduct, glute med, that's the top shelf here. Glute min, back in and back down, making sure you're squeezing the entire time, and then that's really gonna create that burn in the glutes. So this is the dumbbell hip thrust or a dumbbell hip thrust with a banded abduction. Most times I'll just put the weight in front of me, or sometimes some people put it off to the side. And then you complete for the number of reps and decide if you need to go up in weight, stay at the same weight, or add more reps. And if this video is helpful to you, give it a like and let me know if this helps. And make sure you check out other videos in this series. I have plenty of other